management system is one of the most useful and needful concepts we know. Because if you have your database and if you don't know how to manage your data, that will be a big problem for you. So in this case, we do have MySQL to manage our data, and we have a concept called operators in MySQL. So in this tutorial, we are going to talk about what are the operators we have in MySQL and how they are going to help us to manipulate our data. Before start the tutorial, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with a brilliant idea, that is Great Learning Academy, where you will get almost 80 plus free courses, and after completing your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you want to do this course with your mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. So let's get started with this tutorial. Now comes the operator concepts. After learning operator and where clause, the filter concept, we will do this demo in MySQL to have a proper understanding about them. Now let's have a look at what are the operators and why do we need to use operator. Operators are also combined with where clause to filter the data. Right? So we have three types of operator. We have AND operator, we have OR and NOT operator. So let's have a look at one by one how these operators are working with where clause. Suppose we are going to use AND operator. So AND operator returns a record if all the conditions are true which are separated by AND. So if you are giving that two conditions for a particular query, so that time if the both query is going to be true or both conditions going to be true, that time you will get a result from your query, and this is how AND operator works. Now let's have a look at the second operator, that is a OR operator. But how OR operator works, right? So OR operators returns a record if any conditions are true which are separated by OR. Right? Maybe you can give 2-3 conditions, and if you see that any of conditions are going like true with this condition you have put in your query, that time you will get a result from that. Now let's have a look at the NOT operators. So NOT operators returns a record if the conditions are not true. So if you give some condition, if you say if my condition is going to be like true, that time I don't want any record to be returned. So that time NOT operator works to just show if your conditions are not true, that time it will return you the result, right? So these are the operator concepts we have, and now we will go to MySQL Workbench and let's have a look at how can we actually implement these concepts. Okay, so we came back to our MySQL Workbench. So let's have a look at what are the tables we had. So show tables. So I am doing this just to have this, if we can do this query like so many times, you will start understanding that how this is working. Right? Now if you want to see what's the records you have in your table, that time what we need to use select command, right? Select star from your table name is student table, right? Yes. So you need to write the table that is student table. Now I am going to execute this. Let's have a look at what are the records we have. We have Prakash, Ram and Shama. Now I'm going to say that okay, I want only Ram. Okay, or I'm not going to see the name of the student. I'm going to say if the course name equals to C111003, then please returns all the name you have in your database. Right? So whatever the students we have for course name C1003, then please return all the records. So in my case, I have only one record. Let's see. Let's have just write the query and let's see what is going to return. So whenever you are going to put any condition for your query, you need to write a where clause. So first I need to write select star from the same query student table. After writing the table name, you need to put the where clause. Now I'm going to write where, and then you need to provide your attribute name, that is course name, right? Course name, right, is equals to, you need to provide your you say that if your course name is C1003, then only return all the records, right? So in the quotation, I need to provide my string, that is C1003 and 1003, and I need to complete it. Then the semicolon. Let me just execute that. What is going to return? You can see I got only one record when I put that where course name is equals to C1003. So this is how our where clause works. If you want to put some other condition, maybe you are going to write, okay, I want all the data for C1001, right? So you need to write the same query and you need to just change the course name as C1001, right? Let's have a look at if we have any entries for that. No, we don't have any entries for this, right? But if you want to use 4 maybe, right? So let's have a look at that. If we have any entry for that. No, we don't have any entry for that as well. So let's go back to select star. Yes, you can see C1002, C1003, 1004, but we don't have any entry for 4 and 1, right? So maybe I am changing it to 5. Let's see what I am going to get. Yes, I get Shama is under course name C1005. So this is how our where clause works. Now let's have a look at how AND operators is going to work. And we will do one by one. Okay. So select again star from the table name, that is student table, and there we need to write where clause, right? So always we try to use AND operators, NOT operators, OR operators with what? With where clause, right? So where I am going to write maybe student ID, right? Student ID is equals to what? 3. And I am going to write AND operator. I am going to give one more condition, and course name is equals to what? C1005. Okay, let's see what's going to return. Yes, it's going to return me Shama. So just you can see, if you have a closer look over here, you can see I have given two different condition, that student ID should be equals to 3 and course name should be equals to C1005. Maybe I am going to check one condition, right? So I am going to say student ID equals to 5 and course name is equals to C1005. You can see I didn't get any result. Why? Because in AND clause, both of the condition you have given, that should be right. Okay. So if you are going to use a condition where one condition is actually getting true and one condition is getting wrong, that time it will not give you any, or it will not return any result for you. Now we are going to use a OR operator, right? So here we all know that OR operators, in the case of OR operator, if your one condition is right, it's going to give you the result, right? Maybe I am going to write over here 5 and I am going to use OR operator, right? Let me just execute that. Yes, you can see over here we got the result. Wherever our student ID is 5, I said, right? Our student ID is 5 and course name is equals to C1005, right? So in this case, my course name is actually matched, but my student ID is not matching, but still it's giving me the result because we are going to use OR operator. Now I am going to use NOT operator, right? So you need to write selects and then you need to write star from where? The table name, student table, right? Right? So we are going to write the table name where I am going to say where maybe the student name not is equals to, okay, student name not Shama. Okay. Okay. So now we are getting an error over here that okay. So I need to write not before the attribute's name, right? Okay. Yes, I need to write equals to as well. Okay, so what we need, we just give a error over here that we need to write not before the attribute, right? So always remember there is a proper chain or proper structure whenever you are going to write a query. So it starts with selects, then you need to write where, and then your operator. If you are going to use not operator, then not, and then your attribute name and equals to what data you want to give. So for my case, I just don't want like if student name equals to Shama, I don't want this to be returned. Okay, so you can see without Shama, it's going to return me Prakash and Ram. So this is how our operators works, and this is how you can use operator concept with where clause as well. Right, so let's have a look at what else we have in our MySQL. I hope this is actually quite interesting subject for me, right? So let's go to the presentation and let's have a look what mysterious things we have in our MySQL, right? So let's go. So in the last part, we saw that how can you use operators in MySQL with the using where clause. Now we will have a look at some other operators we have in MySQL. So let's see what else we have. We have in operators. So how does in operators works, right? So in operator can contain multiple values in a where clause. It is also used as a shortcut for multiple OR conditions. So we already have seen that what is OR condition, how can you implement them into MySQL Workbench. And here if you want to use a shortcut for multiple OR condition, you should opt for in operators. And we will also do a demo for in operators in MySQL Workbench. Now let's have a look at the second operator we have, that is between operator. But wait, how does this between operator works? This between operators basically helps to select values within a given range, and those values can be number, text or dates, right? So now we will go to MySQL Workbench and we will try to implement these operators to filter our data, right? So let's go to MySQL Workbench. So in MySQL Workbench, we know we have a table called student table. So first what I want to do, I want to fetch all the data from my student table. So I have written select star from where? From the student table, and then don't forget to put semicolon after your query because it's the syntax for SQL. So you have to remember that, and I just want to execute that. Right, I have 3 records in my table, that is student table. Now I am going to implement the in operator in my table. But how can I do that? And how can I use this in operator, right? So basically I'm going to say if the course name is C1002 and C1003, then only just provide me all the details, right? So in the OR operators, what we need to do, we need to write then course name is equals to C1002 or C1003, right? Whereas when I'm going to write in, so that time I don't need to write a long query, right? I just need to mention that in which maybe the course between 1002 and 1003, I want all the name is registered under the database. Now I'm going to write select and then star from where the table called student table, and then I am going to add that how can I use in operators. So I am going to write where, right, course name, our attribute name course name is equals to, we used to write the course name, but here what we need to do, we need to write in, right, in operator in. Then in the bracket, I am going to write C1002, comma, and the next one you want to give C1005 maybe. Let's see what it's going to return me. According to me, it will return 2. Yes. So it's giving me the 2 results, right? I just mentioned if the course name in, basically this in contains what condition you are giving. If your course name in between this C1002 and C1005, then please return all the values we have in our database. Now I am going to use a between, right? How can I do that? So in this case, we are going to write, so in the between, when we are going to implement between, you need to write select. Now again the star, I want all the information from where the student table. So this is select star from student table or the table name. This is a basic query you need to write whenever you are going to use any operators, right? Table, and then I'm going to write where, maybe I am going to write student ID. Okay, student ID between, here you need to write the operator between 1, right? 1 and 2, right? Let's see what we will get over here. Yes, so we all know this AND operator when we use. So here we are combining two operators, between and. So I said select star, please give me all the details from student table where my student ID is between 1 and 2, right? If my student ID is between 1 and 2, then please select and please send all the data I have in my database. Right? So this is how our between and in operators works. So let's go back to the presentation and let's have a look at what we have next. In this tutorial, we have talked about operators concepts in MySQL. How operators are going to help us to manipulate our data and also manage our data. We hope you like the tutorial and please do let us know about your feedback. And before complete the tutorial, let me introduce that Great Learning has came up with a brilliant idea, that is Great Learning Academy, where you will get almost 80 plus free courses. And after complete your course, you can claim your certificate as well. And if you want to do these courses in your mobile application, that is also possible using Great Learning app. Thank you so much.